Hello everyone, this is Christine and welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be talking about annotating sheet music. Now as a beginner you may not know a ton about annotation, but it is extremely helpful for playing music. So today I'm going to be explaining to you why I like to annotate my music, and then I'll also be taking you through how you can use the app Tomplay to annotate the music right in the app so that you can get the benefits of your annotation and also print it out and use it like regular sheet music. So first of all, what exactly is annotation? All right, I got my phone out so I could give you the official definition first. So annotation is a noun and it is a note of explanation or comment added to a text or diagram. So simply put, it's putting notes and symbols on your sheet music. All right, now if we look at annotations in an existing printed piece of sheet music, I have here this piano pieces for adult beginners. And most of the pieces have various annotation in them. The most obvious form of annotation that helps beginner piano players are the finger numbers that you'll see. So the numbers above the notes, which as you can see on Beethoven's Piano Concerto No. 4 here, they're suggesting to you which fingers you should use to hit these notes to make it easier to switch between notes as you're playing. But there's other types of annotations as well. You can see on here there are some what you might think of as less than signs. Those are telling you to be loud and then get quieter. Where you see the 2 P's, it's telling you to play softer. And of course, you can look up all these annotations to get the exact definitions. 1 P means piano, for example. I believe 2 is pianissimo. And pretty much all the notation you'll see in sheet music originates from Italian. But the point is that all of these little notes across the music are forms of annotation. And you can add your own annotation in order to give you hints to make it easier for you to play. An example I have in the same book here is You Made Me Love You, where I have put in, as you can see, finger numbers for every single note throughout the entire song. And that's because as a beginner, I'm still not always sure the smoothest way to move from one key to another. And once I played it through one time, remembering to use those same finger numbers the next time I played was practically impossible. So I went through really slowly and I figured out which finger numbers I wanted and I added them in here. Another thing I like to do for annotation is to add note names. So I'm still learning, particularly in the bass clef, still trying to memorize some of the notes, especially when you get into notes you play less often, like notes all the way below the bass clef staff. So that's a little bit about what annotation is and why I personally like to use it. Let's go ahead and turn now to Tomplay, which if you're not familiar is a sheet music app which has hundreds of scores in different arrangements, and they have orchestral accompaniment for you when you play. And they also provide the ability for you to annotate right within the app, and then you can print the music out so you have their paper sheet music. Let's take a look. That's about as far as I've gotten so far. But if you look within any song on Tomplay, you will see that the score at the top is by default typically the Tomplay score. However, if you click on that score, you can see we have one called C, which is what I just name all my scores. And then we have the option without annotations, which essentially takes away all the finger numbering. The Tomplay score puts in some finger numbers for you and sometimes includes some other annotation. So if you want to add your own annotations in Tomplay, you click on this Annotate the Score in the upper right corner. You're going to name your score, so I will just name it CC and click Save. And so you can have multiple different scores with different amounts of annotation on them. And then you can dive right into adding your notes. So you can see we have 4 different options here. First up, we have Annotate. And you can see you have numbers here, and I use the 1 through 5 for finger numbers. You can also add sharps and flats and naturals. You can circle notes where you're having troubles or put a little exclamation point to warn you, hey, you usually screw this up, pay close attention. Then of course you have all your different volume notations. So if you want to play really soft, that's 3 Ps, and it works all the way up into forte and fortissimo, which are your Fs, so that you can let yourself know it's time to play really loud. Bunch of other annotations here: diminuendo, crescendo, decrescendo. Again, those are mostly about volume. And then there's some I am less familiar with, but you can always look them up if there's something you're interested in using. You can see the fermata here, which this song actually has some right here in the very first measure here, and in the 4th measure. And so if you wanted to add another one of these where you want to hold notes for longer, you just drag it onto the screen and drop it. And now you can tell yourself, hey, hold this note a bit longer than is indicated. Oh, there's already one underneath it actually. So if we realize, hey, there's actually already notation there, I can just click erase and click on it and it will disappear for me. And then finally, the last part of the annotate is where you can add the note names. So let's say I don't remember what one of these note names is down here in the bass clef. I can grab, let's say we want the G, and I can put that G, you can see I've just added it right here. And that helps remind me that, oh, this is a low G. And if you prefer the do, re, mi versions of the notes, those are there as well. Other than standard annotation, we also have the ability to draw here, and you can choose the thickness of your page so you can highlight things, you can draw, and do whatever you want. And then of course, you can click on things to erase them. Next, we have the ability to highlight. So again, you can choose the weight of the line, and you can highlight what you need to highlight. And finally, you can type in your own text. So it will pop up the little keyboard. And if you're less familiar with standard annotation, you can always just put in your own notes, or maybe even add your own lyrics. A bit larger. And finally, once you have everything the way you want it, you've now got this score saved in here. And you can come down to the bottom right corner and there's a little print icon. Now, Tomplay does have a limitation on the number of scores you're allowed to print over the time period that you have your membership. So I'm just gonna click OK. And then if you are able to print from your iPad directly, you can go ahead and select your printer and print it. I, on the other hand, typically go over to my laptop, log into Tomplay, and pull up the score there and print it from my laptop. But you can see on my screen, my annotations are showing here, my little notes, la la la's and play loud. So I'll be all set when I print this out so I can work on this piece with my own personal annotations. If you guys are interested in trying out Tomplay for yourself, there is a link down in the description where you can get a free trial and also sign up for their premium edition, which gets you access to all the music in their library. I hope you found this video helpful. If you're enjoying my videos, please consider subscribing to my channel and hitting the notification bell. Like this video and leave any comments or questions you have down below. Thank you all for joining me again, and we will see you guys next time. Bye.